Lucy had lived in the small white house on Willow Street for more than 40 years. It was the place where she had raised her son, where pencil marks still climbed the door frame measuring his growth, where the porch boards creaked in the same familiar rhythm every morning. The house remembered her better than anyone else did. At 76, Lucy moved more slowly now. Her knees ached in the cold, and her hands trembled when she buttoned her cardigan. But she still woke before sunrise, still made her tea the way she always had, 1 sugar, a splash of milk, stirred exactly 3 times. Her son, Robin, had begged her to come live with him and his wife after his father passed away. "You shouldn't be alone, Mom," he said, his voice thick with worry. Lucy agreed because she loved her son and because grief made the nights unbearably long. At first, she believed it would be temporary, a few months, maybe a year. She told herself she would adjust. She did not know how lonely a house could be when someone else controlled the silence. Robin traveled often for work, long projects, distant cities, weeks at a time. When he was home, the house felt warm. He laughed loudly, kissed his mother's forehead, and called her Mom the way he always had. He thanked her for cooking and asked about her day. In those moments, Lucy almost felt like herself again. But when Robin left, something in the house shifted. Her daughter-in-law, Karen, became a different person in his absence. The kindness drained from her voice. Her smile vanished as if it had never existed at all. Lucy noticed it in small ways at first. Plates set down too hard, sighs filled with irritation, doors closed a little too sharply. Karen began correcting her constantly. "You're using too much water. That's not where that goes. You already ate. Don't act confused." Lucy apologized often, even when she wasn't sure what she'd done wrong. As the weeks passed, the misbehavior grew sharper. Karen complained about Lucy's presence as if she were a burden, not a person. She spoke loudly on the phone to friends, never lowering her voice. "She just sits there all day. I didn't sign up to be a caretaker. She's so slow, it's exhausting." Lucy heard every word from the hallway, her heart sinking deeper each time. She began spending more time in the small guest room, sitting by the window, watching strangers walk their dogs and children ride bicycles, people with places to go. Karen stopped inviting her to dinner. "You said you weren't hungry," she would snap, even when Lucy hadn't spoken a word. Sometimes Karen hid the television remote. Other times she turned off the lights without warning. "Go to bed. You don't need to be up." Once, when Lucy dropped a cup and it shattered on the kitchen floor, Karen's anger exploded. "Are you trying to ruin my house?" she shouted. Lucy bent down slowly, her hands shaking, trying to gather the broken pieces. "I'll clean it," she whispered. Karen didn't help. She watched, arms crossed, as if observing a stranger's humiliation. At night, Lucy cried quietly into her pillow so no one would hear. She told herself not to tell Robin. He worked so hard. He loved his wife. She didn't want to be the reason for tension in his marriage, so she stayed silent. Her health began to fade. She ate less. She slept poorly. She forgot small things, and Karen noticed. "See?" Karen said one afternoon. "You can't even remember basic stuff. This is exactly what I was afraid of." Lucy felt herself shrinking, becoming smaller in her own mind. She stopped asking for help. She stopped speaking unless spoken to. One winter evening, Lucy slipped in the bathroom. She hit her hip hard against the floor and lay there for hours, unable to stand. Karen was home. Lucy called out, her voice weak. When Karen finally came, she stood in the doorway and sighed. "Why are you always creating problems?" She helped Lucy up, but her touch was cold, impatient. No doctor was called, no concern was shown. That night, Lucy stared at the ceiling and wondered how a person could disappear while still breathing. When Robin returned weeks later, he noticed the weight she had lost, the shadows under her eyes, the way she flinched when Karen raised her voice. "Mom?" he asked gently. "Are you okay?" Lucy looked at her son, the boy she had protected, fed, and loved with her whole heart. Her mouth opened, then closed again. She smiled. "I'm fine," she said, but something in her eyes told a different story. And long after everyone else in the house fell asleep, Lucy sat awake in the dark, holding on to memories of a life where she had been needed, where she had been kind to, where love did not come with conditions. The house on Willow Street still waited for her in her dreams, and so did the woman she used to be.